Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Not Monday like I usually do this, but that's because we have a special guest here. Um, YouTuber and my best friend of 10 years, F95523, and also a Cleveland Browns fan. There's more people who are sad as us. So why don't you introduce yourself?
All right, well, thank you, Andrew, for having me on today. You guys can check out my channel. The link is in the description. Um, I got nothing to say about this team.
Yeah, I don't either. Other than, when we see the rumors now that there's going to be a shakeup in the front office, Peyton Manning was, according to Channel 3, which is the home of the great Jim Donovan, who has been the Browns announcer since we returned in '99, and he has seen his share of sad games. Um, our According to Channel 3, Peyton Manning was in Cleveland last week, and I was watching Browns Red Zone, and Jim Donovan made a point. He's like, if Peyton Manning was here for like a fundraiser or something, the cameras would be everywhere. Everybody would be like, oh, look, Peyton Manning's here. Why are we finding this out until next week that he was here? Obviously, he wants to do something with the Browns. That's what I'm thinking.
Is it really gonna matter though? At
I
this
think
point,
it will, because he is one of the most respected names in all of football right now. And he has a mind for the game. Not to forget, he saw what John Elway did. Doug Deacon pointed this out on Brown's Red Zone. Another former Brown, wasn't good, but 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 Doug Deacon pointed this out. He said that Peyton Manning got to see what John Elway did, like literally like hands on. So and Peyton Manning, I guess he's been like he got to sit in a team's draft room on draft day last year. He's kind of getting the feel of this. They think the rumor is that he was here to watch that horrible mess that was called the Browns versus the Jets. They think that he was here to kind of observe like what we were doing. Some say that he was meeting with Haslam and Berea. So there's a lot of possibilities.
I mean, my biggest question is, yes, he's a great football mind. He's a great football player, but some of those guys just can't do it in the front office. I'm just like to make a reference here in the NBA terms. Michael Jordan. Great player. Thought he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
Probably the greatest player of all time. People think like you that Peyton Manning is one of, if not the greatest football player of all
I don't
time.
think he's the greatest football player. I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He's definitely in the top five.
Okay, I will give you that. I think he is in the top five.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm just questioning whether or not, because this team is a freaking mess.
Well, we're a mess coaching wise. We have the talent. Our Sashi Brown has done. He's done pretty good. I would keep him in the front office. I don't think I would make him as a GM. I keep him there to like kind of just wreck teams of their picks. But Sashi Brown has done a good job. He drafted guy. I know Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson; those were a disaster. But when you look at talent wise, Corey Coleman when he's healthy, he's a beast. Emmanuel Ogba has produced. Especially with Myles Garrett in there because he's not getting double teamed as much. Trying to think who else. Carl Nassib's been okay. Um, Derek Kindred is another guy who's been really good. Brian Body Calhoun is a guy, who's done really good. Got him from the Jaguars practice squad after preseason last year. David Njoku has done great. Myles Garrett he's going to be a stud if he stays healthy. We're not going to get into Sean Kaiser or Jabril Peppers. But I don't know. I would like to say Jabril Peppers, but Greg Williams' stupid ass just keeps putting him off. Putting him away from the line of scrimmage. But yeah, overall we've made some really good picks. And J.C. Treader and you know Kevin Zeitler have been really good signings in my opinion. Aside from Kenny Britt, they've done a
Oh,
good job.
J.C. Trotter, we can debate that. I think he's been actually a
Mm.
disaster.
Hey,
I,
I'll take anything over Cameron Irving.
you know what? At this point, if you put Cameron Irving at right guard and the way he's playing in Kansas City, I'd probably take him over J.C. Trotter.
Yeah, maybe.
Seriously, I mean, J.C. Treader is playing like Cameron Irving. He's holding two people at one time, which means Kevin Zeitler missed his block, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, he's always getting holding penalties. This offensive line is not gelling. We paid them all this money, and for what? They're playing like shit. It's
That falls on
causing.
coaching then. Hugh Jackson obviously doesn't. Other than, I don't know, maybe Greg Williams, because Greg Williams has a good defensive line and a pretty good linebacking core. Other than Greg Williams, Hugh Jackson didn't know who to fucking hire. He hired fucking Pep Hamilton as his offensive coordinator last year. That's how stupid this guy is.
Well, to be fair, Pep Hamilton wasn't that bad of an offensive coordinator. At least we can move the ball.
True. And we didn't go run with Isaiah Crowell first play, deep pass and a check down on third down. At least Pep Hamilton did know what to do. You're right.
Look, this offense is such a we don't have any playmakers, and I do, I get that, right? But how do you offset the playmakers? You use your tight ends more, and you run the hell out of the football, and you play the game of time of possession and defense. And I think we tried to do that early in the game, but and this is a rare case. It's such a rare case, but hear me out on this. If I'm the Browns, if you win the coin toss, I receive the football. And let me explain to you why. When we get out there, right, and our defense gives up a 70-yard touchdown pass because our safeties are so far back, and then when they throw it right over the middle, they can't catch up to them, so it's a easy catch and run for a touchdown. When you're down like that so early in the game, it gets away from the running game because we have no wide receivers. And they mentioned this. Bruce Drennan yesterday mentioned it on Drennan Live. He said, defensive coordinators for the Browns, they know what to do because the Browns are the most predictable offense he's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He said, when you don't have any playmakers, you can play man-to-man, press coverage, and these guys can't separate from the ball, so there's going to be nobody open. You can blitz more, and because our offensive line isn't playing great, it's causing for whoever the hell the quarterback is, because at this point it doesn't effing matter.
I heard it's going to be DeShone Kizer again. And you know what? This is why Hugh Jackson needs to be fired. He's throwing Cody Kessler into that mix.
Hey, I would too.
Dude, Cody Kessler can throw more than 20 yards. I mean, yeah, he did good last year, but I don't know, dude. I mean, all he did was just throw to Terrell Pryor.
And that's the guy we're missing. I'm sorry. You can say whatever you want, but our offense at least moves because we had a threat last year. We had a vertical threat that took away the safeties, which allowed the under routes, the mesh routes, the drag routes, the underneath stuff with whoever our tight end was, Barnage, just Duke Johnson, the receiving game. And it even opened up a little hole for Isaiah Crowell. Now we don't have any of that. Our best playmaker on offense is probably Duke Johnson, and next to him, it's, dare I say, freaking Joe Thomas.
Yeah, you're completely right on that. This goes back to coaching as well. Why the fuck is Isaiah Crowell still in the ball game? All he does is run into his offensive line. I think Hugh sees it. He's like, oh, look, he got a 6-yard gain. That's a lot better than last week. Get out there, buddy. Meanwhile, you see Duke Johnson. He turns nothing plays at least into. He turned. What is it? Last week he turned a nothing play into a touchdown. I mean, that right there should say you're the starting back, or I'm going to give you more snaps. How about this? Crowell's still the starting running back, but he just goes there in like the red zone and goal line situations. Okay, that's what I do. I mean, I don't know, dude.
It depends on the situation. Like with running backs in the NFL nowadays, unless you're freaking a big ass power back like Marshawn Lynch, who even needs a break once in a while, you need a complimentary back, and that's what Duke Johnson is to Isaiah Crowell. If teams like the Steelers and the Colts and even the goddamn Jets and the Texans coming up, they have good fast linebackers that stopped Isaiah Crowell. The one thing that's going to be in our advantage, in my opinion, this Sunday against Tennessee, watching that game for as little as I did last night, from what I could tell, the Titans don't have very good run defense.
No, I watched that game pretty decent. I know you don't care about baseball since our beloved Indians lost, but I was watching a little bit of the Astros and the Yankees, and that game sucked. So I turned on Monday Night Football. Um, the Colts are a decent team, but the Titans, for as much talent as they have, especially with Mariota coming back, they played like shit. Now, another thing, Jason McCourty, Pro Football Focus has ranked him the number one corner in the league statistic wise. Okay, the Titans have a pretty depleted wide receiver core. So if Jamar Taylor, and that's a big if, capital I and a capital F, if Jamar Taylor steps up, we have a possibility of winning this game. But our offense is still fucking trash.
And believe it or not, because I said Tennessee is a better run defense, from what I'm looking at, this could be the Isaiah Crowell's breakout party. If there's 1 week where Crowell could have success, I really think it's against the Titans.
If it's not against a run defense this bad, he's on the trading block.
And my other point is,
but Hugh Jackson continues to say, he's our guy. He's our guy. He's going to continue to be our guy. We're going to overpay him. I can already smell it.
well, let me tell you this. You're talking about a Titan depleted wide receiving core. Delaney Walker is going to eat us up. First of all,
yeah, especially because we had Jabril Peppers 50 yards back.
Yes. Second of all, look out for a big game from a guy that I actually really like. He's a really young player by the name of Rashard Matthews.
Mm-hmm. And you know who else I'm forgetting about?
Who?
Derrick Henry. He's going to murder us.
That 1-2. I was thinking about that because he's available in most of my fantasy leagues on the waiver wire. I did not pick him up, and here's why. I think the Browns are going to shut down both DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. I'm actually impressed with our run defense.
Yeah, they have been great. Ogunjobi and Trevon Cooley. Danny Shelton has even looked good. I mean, I thought he was going to be, the last guy gone out of this Browns regime. But I don't know. I think he's making a case for staying here. And I'm going to be disappointed. He's also turned into a fan favorite. He doesn't have that attitude of like, oh, I hate being here and everything. I heard he's like very friendly to the people that come up to him and say hi or ask for a picture. Yeah. So, that's always nice. Those are the kind of people we want here. But I don't, he's done a great job. Our run defense is good. It's just, I don't know.
Our pass defense, is absolutely horrendous.
Oh, I agree. Other than McCourty and Brian Body Calhoun, we have nobody. Maybe Derek Kindred.
And the problem is going to be if they line up even Eric Decker in the slot or Rashard Matthews, these tall wide receivers, they're going to kill us.
Oh, I agree.
And Mariota's hamstring, it's going to get healthier. And in my opinion, he's going to be a little bit more mobile this week.
Yeah, he's going to be able to run.
Yeah.
But another thing, we do have Myles Garrett out there. I think if Myles Garrett isn't the starter, I'm going to throw a brick at my TV when he was talking, because he should be 100% by this time. And when he was out there, especially his third down presence is incredible. Okay.
Oh, I agree. I've been impressed. I'll admit it. I wasn't that impressed in the preseason, but I have been impressed by Myles Garrett so far.
If he has an incredible game, let's say he gets 2 sacks on Mariota and a bunch of tackles. Let's say he does good because they were double teaming him last week and he was still able to break through it. Will you shut the fuck up about us taking him number 1?
Depends on the success of the team.
Okay.
Because here's my argument of taking a defensive.
How about the success of the defense?
Here's my argument of taking a defensive end. Number 1 is that it's not a J.J. Watt guy. I don't think Myles Garrett is that J.J. Watt who can single-handedly wreck a game. I think he's going to be a guy that'll get a sack or 2 a game. He'll be good, but I just don't think it'll be enough because the problem, and you might disagree with me on this, I thought about this long and hard about Greg Williams as their defensive coordinator, okay? The reason why he's struggling ever since he's won the Super Bowl with the Saints, it's because the NFL has changed. And guys like Greg Williams, who are hard-nosed, tough, want to aim for the head, that's not the way the game is played anymore, and they can't adjust because they don't know how to adjust.
All right, yeah. Well, we do have a lot of hits. I've noticed. Our guys do lead with the shoulder and all that. He is teaching them that. It's just hit some of his schemes. Like you think that you'd know what to do. I mean, really, it's what, week 6. We're heading in, or no, we're heading into week 7. He still hasn't learned to pull Jabril Peppers in.
And really, if you watch, because I actually went back and watched a lot of Rams tape from this past couple weeks from Greg Williams' days, he played the same. I mean, his safeties weren't as deep back, but their pass defense was horrendous. If you remember.
Yeah, well, do they really even have any good corners, really?
They didn't, but neither do we.
I know. But I
we
don't
have
know.
better corners than they did.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. We just, we should have never fired Kyle Shanahan.
Oh,
or,
yes, we should have.
I don't know.
That guy's an idiot. You know who we should have never fired? Rob freaking Chizitsky.
Thank you. Thank fucking you. I remember watching, when he got fired after the last game, Fox 8 was going on. I think it was fucking Tony Rizzo's stupid ass was going out in the streets of downtown, and he was like, "What do you think about the Browns firing their coach?" And they're like, "They fired him after 1 year?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "That's not really fair." They're like, when Brian Hoyer came in, he did really good. Then he goes out. He has to start Brandon Weeden. Brandon Weeden plays like shit. He has to bring. Who would he bring in? Was it
Jason Campbell?
Yeah, that's his name. I was getting confused with Seneca Wallace. But yeah, he just had this quarterback carousel, and I think we went on to win 2 more games after that. But I really believe if Brian Hoyer wouldn't have torn his ACL that Thursday night game against Buffalo, we would have been to the playoffs. And as crazy as this shit may sound, I think we would have won the division that year.
Whoa. I mean, we did play really well with him.
I know. And Jimmy Haslam has got to be the dumbest fucking owner opposite Jerry Jones. And I know we got to wrap this up because you got to go soon. But, but just so many coaches after another, and the only person, all right, so I wrote this on my Facebook account. What I would do, I would hire Peyton Manning as the president of football operations, Bernie Kosar as the GM, and get Jim Harbaugh over here. Okay? Just fire Hugh Jackson. Fire this whole staff other than take Chris Tabor with you, too. That guy's a fucking idiot on special teams. Greg Williams, too. Get him out of here. I don't know. Maybe I'd keep him around for another year. Okay.
All right, I gotta ask you this question real quick. If we get Jim Harbaugh, let's just say it's a miracle.
It'll be like the Indians. It'll be like the Indians hiring Terry Francona. Right. That's how I'd feel.
All right. Chances we sign Kaepernick if that happens.
It depends where our quarterback situation is. Like, there's the recent mock draft that came out that has us taking my boy from Oklahoma State, Mason Rudolph. If that's the case, then no. If Jim Harbaugh sees potential in Deshaun Kaiser and likes him, then I think we bring him in as a backup, but I'm not completely sure. But either way, Hugh Jackson's getting fired. Okay, on Browns Red Zone, even dumbass Tony Grossi sees that he's a bad coach. Okay, and Tony Grossi was the one who said that Mike Pettin was our future. Okay.
By the way, I want to make one quick point about Hugh Jackson. I've noticed that when he calls plays, like I think I told you this, normal people have a pen in hand or whatever to mark off plays. He doesn't have that. And second of all, he's screaming into his headset.
I know.
He's like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, normal coordinators say it like very quietly. They hold their playbook up to their face. He's just shouting.
He's a fucking idiot, man. He really is. I mean, as Browns fans, I used to say that, Pat Shurmur was probably the worst coach that we've ever witnessed. Fuck no. It's now Hugh Jackson. He is taking that whole cake. Okay? Romeo Cornell, Eric Mangini, Pat Shermer, Rod Shaziski, Mike Pettin. You guys look like fucking Bill Belichick right now. I mean,
Some
my
guy on
God.
the Browns Periscope during Hughes' press conference said, "Bring back Eric Mancini."
Man, genius. Dude, somebody made a good point about Hugh, and I know we got to wrap this up soon. 1:35 is when you got to go, correct?
Correct.
All right. Somebody said Hugh Jackson is the offensive version of Romeo Cornell. Romeo Cornell, great defensive coordinator, shitty head coach. Okay? Same goes for Hugh Jackson. Great offensive coordinator, shitty head coach. Okay? And I think we should have, you know what? I stumbled across a video from, I think it was 2011 when Hugh Jackson was the coach of the Raiders. The video was titled, "Was Hugh Jackson blaming his players?" And this was after, didn't they started out like 7-4 and they collapsed and they went into 8-8.
Yeah.
He has yet to blame his players for shit when you should have been doing that all along.
Can I make another point about Hugh Jackson in Oakland real quick?
Yeah, we can make a 5-hour-long video about this.
Do you realize who they lost to in the AFC West that year?
Who?
The Tim Tebow Broncos.
Oh my God. We need to fire him now.
Remember the last game of the season when it was Raiders at Broncos, and if the Broncos won, they would win the division, I think, or something?
Holy shit.
That team was coached by Hugh Jackson.
Oh my God.
And
we are fucked. We are fucked. Oh my God. We are the worst organization in sports.
How the fuck do you lose to Tim Tebow?
I don't know. Ask Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh.
All right. I don't know. All we can do is pray. Here, all I want is Peyton Manning, Bernie Kosar, Jim Harbaugh, Mason Rudolph, whoever the fuck we take with that late 20s. It's going to be late 20s. Texans pick. Maybe a wide receiver, but in all honesty, Jimmy Haslam will probably say to trade back for more picks because Sashi Brown will be screaming in a corner, "More picks, more picks." Watch us take Sam Darnold just because. That dude's going to be the next Ryan Leaf.
You know what? Instead of Jim Harbaugh, because he can stay at Michigan so he can fuck up Urban Meyer every Thanksgiving.
Right.
Let's get Jim Bob Cooter.
Yeah, I'd take Jim Bob Cooter. I don't know. I'd maybe take him as an offensive coordinator, but I don't think he's going to be getting head coaching jobs yet because he has here's what I'd do if I was Jim Harbaugh. I would hire Jim Bob Cooter as my offensive coordinator just because not only would Jim Bob Cooter end up getting a head coaching job within 2 years of being the offensive coordinator of the Browns, our offense would be, he would turn our offense around completely, that it would get to the point where we would just know what to do from there.
Right.
There's no guidance with Hugh Jackson whatsoever. So, no, but there would be with.
We all got to be nice and we all got to get better.
Yeah, and we got to work as a team. Remember, we got to work as a team. And I don't think we're working as a team right now. Dude, this team has given up on him. You can tell. You can just tell. I mean, I think, before it was all like, last year when, I think it was after we went 0-12, and he's like, look, you can't blame any of these players for him. And all the players were like, what? Yes, you can. We suck. Now this year, when he's like, you can't, you got to blame me. There's players probably going like, yeah, no shit, asshole. You can't play call worse shit,
And like I said in my video, last year I get it because he was implementing his system and shit. This is year fucking 2.
I know. The
system should be in. Crowell's been in the system. It's fucking bad.
I know. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up so you don't miss your bus. Recap will be up next week. Hopefully we win, but we won't. It will be competitive. Right. Deshaun Kaiser is probably going to be the quarterback. Peyton Manning, rumor is that he's expected to get hired by the bye week if he even is thinking about taking this. taking this job. And usually, like you said before, after the London game is when things get really big. Okay, so with that, we're going to wrap this up. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at A_back at 55. The link is in the description. The link to F95523's channel is also in the description. Check out some of his videos. He gets pissed at the Browns and just Cleveland sports in general. Kind of like I do, but except it's way worse. All right, so with that, thank you guys for watching, and see you next week.